السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي أسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. We have been studying the story of Moses scattered in the Quran, and we are just taking some pieces from here and there. And now we are going to study, inshallah, the verse Qasas, Surah Qasas, verse ayah 25. So we have been concentrating on how Moses was trained through error and try and error. Try and error. Of course, we will see very interesting developments in his life. So he accidentally killed somebody. He didn't, but he had a certain idea that whoever belongs to his race is right. And he felt that he has to support this person because he is one of the members of his race. So after doing this, committing this mistake, and then second time he realized that something is going wrong, and somebody came and informed him that, it was maybe obvious that this is the rule, and Pharaoh and his people were Egyptians, and Moses Moses belonged to Israelites, so they didn't want him to be a prince in the palace, so that you never know, he may become the king at the end. So the Egyptians were really worrying because they don't want to follow a person who comes from a slave race background. That was very important. So he realized that at the end, people will take him to court and making the excuse of this accidental, unintentional killing as an excuse to get rid of him. It means kill him, execute him. So he had to run away. He ran away. This is how his journey starts, real life journey started. So he went to a completely different country, Midian, they say, but there was another problem. The problem wasn't a race problem because there was only one race there and no slave race there, but the problem was gender discrimination. Women are not respected. Women are not expected to join the social life. So when he went and just sat in a place, doesn't matter wherever it is, and his experience started that, look, the injustice was going on back in Egypt among the racial discrimination. Now another injustice is going on here in this country, in this among these people, among the gender discrimination. The women were not allowed to use their right, so the women, two girls were waiting for to water their animal belonging to their own family, but the men did not respect them, and the two girls had to wait for the others to finish with feeding their or watering their animals so that everybody will go away, and then they will have the right to water their herd, their animals. So Moses, as his nature is pro-justice, he cannot stand any injustice. That is how his character is, or his choices in this world. Because of this honesty, uprightness about justice, although he didn't know previously how this justice needs to be established, he thought anybody belonging to the deprived class in the society is right. That was a very interesting lesson that the Quran is teaching us, that if you act on this assumption, inevitably you will cause injustice, because your assumption in order to implement justice is based on injustice, injustice. So it was very interesting that he experienced this injustice, so that he had to leave the country and have a real life experience. He also realized that after making this mistake, realized that basing injustice on certain criteria rather than the person is just or wrong. I mean, putting the application of justice within a certain category. For example, race discrimination, class discrimination, gender discrimination, religious discrimination. That is very important for us to notice. We will talk about it. And what else? Maybe economical status, or also one's social status in the society. Being the leader of the country, they cannot be treated as the others, even they may commit some unjust activities. So he learned this. Here, gender discrimination, he wanted to correct it and ask the girls, without feeling shy or anything, said, "What is the matter with you? Why are you not just, you came here, and then why don't you follow your line? You back your turn comes. You don't have to wait at the very end because you are girls, women." So he took the herd, and of course, he's a man. Now he has the right to water the animals. So he did. And then the girls went away. Maybe whatever happened, the Quran says, okay, only the Quran mentions, we talked about it last week, maybe in a detail, that if there is a lesson in the story, Quran emphasizes on it. Quran doesn't want to complete the story, because story cannot be the purpose of God to tell me what happened how many thousands years ago. None of my business. Of course, it is obvious. So he came to Midian and practiced this and protected the rights of the deprived ones. And the girls went back, and then later on they came back. Here we are now in verse 25. And then one of the two women approached him. Now the girls came back, walking shyly. That's very important. That's very istihya, ala istihya'in. So it is very haya. I mean, chastity, modesty, shy way, but really not shy because you do something. That's why you feel shy about your mistake, your sin, for example. But I don't know. The people translate it as this in this way, so I took it because we are going to talk about it anyway. I didn't bother about the wording of the translation. So it means haya. Haya means, I mean, protecting her chastity. So she's a woman. It doesn't mean that man has no chastity. No, they have as well. But man has his own, in his own right, chastity. Woman has in her own right a way of chastity. Chastity. But here, specifically talking about the girl coming, approaching Moses, because something was going on apparently, because they will reveal, or she or another girl, one of them, will reveal her secret. That is why she cannot come and tell them as a girl. That is how the nature of the girl is. Come on, get married with me, for example. No. So she came and said, in an honorable way, if you like, in an honest way, honorable way, without exploiting her feelings, without inciting the feelings of the man about their relationship, turning into a kind of gender relationship, if you like, I mean, emotional base. That's why haya is necessary. Keep your dignity, men and women, in your relationship with the others. But if you decide that you get married, that's it. That is another case. Otherwise, we have to behave in a way that there should be no way out, mixing our interactions with other people with emotional tendencies. We shouldn't confuse it. Now time is, my father is asking for you. Okay, that's the news. All right. He wants to reward you for watering our flocks for us. Okay, when Moses came to him, now this is interesting. Okay, he accepted. Why not? Let's go. If someone wants to pay me for my work, why not? If you do a job or do a work for somebody and you ask for your right, but in this case, he did it voluntarily, but the person wants us to pay it. All right, why not? It's my right to accept it, although it is not his right to ask for it because he wasn't employed then. So Moses came to him without hesitation, it is obvious here, and told him his story. وقص عليه القصص. What does it mean? All of his experience previously he had in his life. In order to get to know each other, we have to share our experiences, but not for nothing. Now he is in a foreign place. He's an immigrant now. Although the country he is in now seems to be, they don't have any citizenship problems or immigrant problems, because although he was a foreigner, he took the flock of the girls and watered them instead of waiting until the very end with the boys, with the men. It means it looked like otherwise a just society, otherwise than gender discrimination. So he told everything to this man because it's a different country now, different conditions, life conditions, social life conditions. And the person, it means the father of these girls, listened to him. He is an old man, somehow man of experience, apparently. He dealt with him in an appropriate way, a young man. So let me listen to his story, which kind of person he is. Moses told him his story. The old man said, "Don't be afraid. You are safe now from unjust people." It means not like your situation is not like the one in Egypt that you had experienced so far, but we have to understand that he realized that this man is after justice, establishing justice, but he has no training, education, how to apply the desire for establishing the justice. So he thought, definitely, I'm guessing here, but this man needs a good training because he has a very good, pure intention. Because he wants to establish the justice, but he doesn't know how to do it. He needs training. And Moses, we will see, Moses will acknowledge his offer. It will be an opportunity for him how a real life conditions, because he grew up in a palace. Everything is served for him. Now, real life is not like this. You have to serve yourself. Maybe, if necessary, you have to serve others as well. You have to learn this. The life is mutual exchange of help. So it's a good lesson. We have to understand that the shift in the life of Moses is very interesting, very sharp one. From the palace, being a prince, now he is going to be a servant in one of the ordinary family householding. That is interesting. For me, it is interesting. Let's see what will happen. So, verse 26, let me see this one. Okay. Okay. Now, we will see that. Now, what will happen now? 26. One of them said, one of the girls, no, yeah, one of the girls said to his father. From there, I understand that although it is not stated in the Quran, neither it is in the Israeliyat, it means Torah, oral narration. It's not a Torah narration, but since the girl immediately offered to her father, hire him, my father. Now, it means they were listening to the story or life story of Moses. That is what my understanding is. They understood that this is an upright person. This is a righteous person, trustworthy person, but he needs training. He needs to learn the real life conditions. But how? That's a good excuse for the girl. She liked him. That is obvious from the language she uses. Or my father, hire him. It means keep him within somehow our householding. Now, it's a very simple, ordinary householding as compared to palace, Pharaoh's palace. Pharaoh's palace was the most rich and powerful country of the time. So it is completely different, very simple, very modest life. Now, he doesn't mind. We understand as he will accept the offer they make to him. It means he is not after luxurious life. He is not a spoiled guy, or the young but not spoiled guy, but needs experience. So the girl is not shy of saying, hire him. And the father is a very understanding person. And she also said the reason that is important, that is practically, especially for those people who are young and not married, it is very important to pay attention to this following piece of the verse. The best person to hire is someone strong and trustworthy. Now, we understand that trustworthiness is essential. No argue about it. We cannot argue about it. Okay? But how about this strong? What does it mean? What does it mean he is strong? He is qawi, very strong, man. Really, what does it mean? Now, do you think the girls will say, I want to get married, since this is the advice of the Quran? My God, my Creator says, if you want to get married, if you are a girl, look for the quality of being strong and trustworthy. And what does it mean, strong? Especially nowadays, the young people, they want to look strong. Yeah, they go to gym and do lots of workouts, activities, exercises, in order to look strong. But is it really only being strong, or in the case of Moses, how did they understood that they heard the story of Moses, that he's a trustworthy man, although he is very naive as far as the real life conditions are concerned, and also how to apply this best character needs training, education. But how did they understand what did they mean by strong? Because he has not only well-built body. No. He's strong in his determination. He's strong to stand up for his virtues, for his values, which is mostly establishing the justice, not letting any injustice happen in any society. Now, that is his strength. And also, he is brave. Although he is a foreigner, he is an immigrant in the society now, in this new society, among these people, but he was brave enough, determined enough to take the animals to water instead of waiting until the end. I'm an immigrant, second-class citizen. No, he practiced it. I don't think, yes, he was strong in his body, because in one smack, if you like, he killed the man. But I don't think it is for this reason this qawi is used. Strong in character, determined in his values, to apply, to practice his values. That is why the story also tells that, look, I saw one of the men asked my help, and this man was among the disprivileged people or slave people. I helped him. But it cost me the death of another person and this responsibility of this death. So I had to leave the country. Although I know I may need some punishment because of my being careless, but not that death penalty. That's why he calls these unjust people, because they were looking for an excuse to execute him, because they didn't want him to be in the palace as a person who's from slave race. That is important to notice the background, as it is told in the Quran. I am very careful not to mix up the Quranic teaching with Torah interpretation, not Torah, rabbinic interpretation, Jewish interpretations. I don't want to mix it because we have no base to accept them. We don't know. They may be made up in order to complete the story, or they may be real. We don't know. So we cannot trust them, but we can take the Quranic teaching because we interpret the Quranic teaching for a purpose, not for the purpose of story. But the Torah tradition or rabbinic tradition tells us, this, especially the Midrash, which is called a special oral narrations of the interpretations, commentaries on the Torah, based on mostly the history of Israelite people, the children of Israel, as the Quran calls them, Bnei Israel, Israelites. Now, we don't want to do that, and it is very dangerous to do this because it really distorts the purpose of the teachings of the Quran. We have to get life principles for our living conditions from the Quran. So strength is in character, determination in one's value, defending what is right, what is wrong. So not only bodily strength. So it is very important. If a person wants to make any arrangement with anyone or sign a contract, not only marriage contract, any contract, you have to see which kind of values, life values, moral values, ethical values this person has, and which kind of determination this person has in order to put his values into practice. So be a brave man, powerful man, strong man in your usage of the free will, not the body. Body strength may be good, I don't know, but it is body strength, strong body, doesn't help human strength. Do you understand? Is it clear, really? There is a friend here I'm speaking to at the same time. So, did I make it clear? Body strength doesn't mean that my human side is strong or powerful. No, human side, the strength of the human side is necessary. Body strength depends on if you are going to work, labor work, you have to have some sort of strength. So, for example, if someone is going to get married and he says, yeah, okay, do you have the strength to look after the family life, take care of the needs of the family? You can ask this. It is strong. And also how honest you are, how trustworthy you are. Well, you can look for it. You must look for it. So both values attracted my attention. One of them seems to be worldly oriented. The other one seems to be character-wise oriented. Worldly means, how much money do you make, for example. But Shall I not ask? Well, if I was going to get married, if I was a girl, and if I was going to get married with a person, definitely I will check his character, his virtues, his values, how trustworthy he is. And another thing is, okay, we are going to get married, but do you have a profession to do to take care of the family life? Are you going to be able to take care of it, or are you going to take me to the basement of your father, which is very usual in New York among the Muslim community? They get married into the basement, and then starts the quarrel between mother-in-law and the bride. So you don't come, you don't help householding, etc. And then you are here and using the electricity more than needed and heating, etc. These comparisons in the course of time develops, and the young couple may not feel very comfortable at the end. They had to move out, but whether they are ready or not. But to be ready to get married is necessary. I mean, yes, maturity in mind, maturity in character is necessary. But at the same time, ability to take care of the family life is also necessary. Yes, I'm very religious man, I'm very considerate man, but I have no work to do to take care of the family. For the moment, my father, because the parents want their children to get married. But that is how we are created. That they encourage them. They say, okay, get married, I'll take care of you. But how long are you going to take care of my family needs? For how long? Because you are an old man. Anyways, if you have a son or daughter ready for the age of marriage, it means you are definitely over 50. So, especially nowadays, no one gets married before the age 44, 24, 25. It's very rare. So it is maybe 30 is quite normal. Now, in this time, during this time I'm talking, it's a realistic appearance or the realistic appraisal of what is going on in the society to me. So this means you can look after me until what time? So you are getting old and you will be in need of my help. And you are saying, I'll take care of your family life, but I am ready or not. So everybody has to take his own responsibility. So that is that is the thing I understood from this verse. If there is anybody would like to say anything, will bring up any point, I don't see any comment. Oh, there is one comment. Let me see what is there. Okay, somebody is late and order. Okay, doesn't matter. And it's not related to all of us. Okay, it is private anyway. So let's go to the next verse. If there is no comment, no concern, question, rejection, etc., I will continue. So, Qasas, verse 27. Let's see. Then father said, look at this. Father figure is very important. There are very important father figures in the Quran. One of them is Jacob. The other one is, if you like, father-in-law of Moses. But there is no need to guess his identity. He was a prophet of none of my business. I mean, now, the father said, I would like to marry you to one of these daughters of mine. Oh, good. Yeah, why? There was no mention of marriage. The girl said, hire him. Girl, I mean, as far as the wordings of the Quran, if you don't want to read between the lines, wordings of the Quran, there is no mention of marriage. Where do you think the father got it? No, it's a loving father. He understands. It's an experienced father. So it represents the role of experienced father. So we understand that he got the point. That is what the fathers should be. They should understand. If someone says, Father, hire this man, it means he needs to be close to my family householding. What does it mean? I like them. He's trustworthy. He is strong. It means he's ready to get married. Prepared. But he doesn't have a job, Moses. He doesn't have any special profession. He is a prince, maybe educated or trained to be a ruler in a country. Now everything is gone. Devastated his life as a priest, as a prince. So what happened? This man understood that the father of the girls understood that this man needs to experience the real life conditions. So let me give him a job, and making the excuse of this marriage as well. So father understands the girl because she's inclined to get married, or she's ready to say yes if there is an offer from the boys' side. But father also understands, is a very, very mature father, understands that this man needs experience and must be kept under his somehow education, and teach him, educate him, prepare him for the life. So he uses two sides, girl's side, boy's side, and tries to find out the best way to fulfill the needs of the both sides at the same time. That's what a father figure should do. So that's a good example for me, I think. But he says, look, on condition that you serve me for 8 years. It means after listening his story, father and the girls, daughters, listening to Moses' story, he understood that he needs a real life training, because he doesn't know. He grew up in a palace. Everything is prepared for him. Life is ready. He doesn't have to work, etc. So 8 years is a good time for him to serve, to learn how to serve others. Okay, to learn how to serve others, because he has been learning, he has been served until now. That's apparent. That's why he doesn't know real life conditions. So on the condition that you serve me for 8 years. Yeah. It is interesting the word hajjaj is used here. It means in this society, I think, I don't know, hajjaj means the plural form of hajj. Hajj means annual, in that society. It's not an Islamic society. It is maybe, I don't know, maybe a pagan society. Annual festival. Every, here in America, for example, we see that Halloween or Christmas, or I don't know, Easter. These are, in every society, there are some sort of excuses to socialize and entertain, etc. So it is human nature. Hajj means Hajj, is the measurement of the time for social activities. Everybody knows that, for example, after the harvest, for example, They have this pagan tradition. Make a festival out of it. But in Islam, this human nature is transformed into a very important form of worship, common worship, not individual worship now, common worship, in the form of a festival. But this festival is not for nothing. Festival is for the purpose of really connecting oneself to his creator, to his God, Rab. Anyways, this is the 8 years is Hijjaj, actually. There is no Am. So it is Arabic. It's the Arabic Am, but or Sana. There is no such word mentioned here. But it is also interesting. Every society has their annual celebration date. So if you complete 10, if you feel that you need more training, I will give you the opportunity, a bit more training. It means what I understood here. It will be of your own free will. This condition is generally known dowry, as dowry, paying. But in this case, it may be a dowry because he is going to help the family. It may be the dowry paid to the family in order to get married, but not only for this purpose. But the content of the teachings of the Quran, it is not only, I don't think it is this the service is not only for the dowry, but together with dowry, there is a purpose. That this purpose is important. Now, what does it mean, for example, in our practical life? That's why we always try to understand the Quran for our practical life. So, yes, the girl has the right to ask for dowry, sure. But dowry shows many other things. Dowry is not only for economical reasons, financial reasons. No. First of all, marriage is a commitment. So you have to see in the man how he is. If you like, I'm using this word used in the Quran, how strong he is in his commitment. In order to show it in practical terms. That's why, okay, if you want to get married with me, so you will take care of the family life, but you have to demonstrate it to me that you are serious about it. And also, you are not going to be dependent on me, but because of the family relationship, I may be dependent on you, but at the same time, I am the woman because I am going to carry your daughter, your son, your baby. If necessary, I'm going to take care of your baby. So you have to take the responsibility of financial side of the family side. I will take care of the responsibility of the continuation of our generation. It means our progenies, children. It doesn't mean that necessarily it should work in this way. It doesn't mean that the women shouldn't work. No, the Quran didn't say that the girls were taking care of the animals. Maybe it is a farming family taking care of the animals. The Quran never said or hinted anything that, hey, what are you doing? Leave it to men. The girls, go and sit in your house. No. He justified it, accepted. Even the girls used this socialization as a means of marriage. For example, yeah, why not? We are social people or the social creatures. God created us in this way. We cannot live in a room for our life. So we have to go out, communicate with other people, and that's what we learn also. The prophet doing that. He wasn't really telling the women, don't go out at all, stay here. No, he was going to war conditions or expeditions, whatever the purpose was. He used to take his wife with him, one of his wives with him. Which means you stay at home. What are you going to do in the battlefield? No, he has to come. She has to come as well. That is a very meaningful practice of the prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him. So, what we understand from here that, what was it? Where did I do that? No, I think we went too far. Yeah. So father figure is an ideal father figure here, which is very important that we have to pay attention. We have to understand the feelings of our children and respect them, but as long as they are really based on reasonable reality, according to the reality of life. So I don't intend to make things difficult for you. It means that what I understood from this piece of the verse, it is not really to exploit the man because he is going to get married with your daughter so that you can exploit his facilities, for example, use it in order to satisfy your needs, really. But it shows that it is not my intention that I'm going to really live on you and take some benefit from you. But that is why he says, I don't intend to make things difficult for you. It means, look, my aim is not really, for example, the purpose of dowry is not really to get the money out of the person, but you are going to get married with this person, live the family life together. It doesn't mean that it is a clash of interest. Dowry is not a clash of interest. We have to understand this. But at the same time, a very real sign for the commitment, for the seriousness of the contract that they are going to sign. Marriage contract. Seriousness. Are you really? But not only emotionally, as far as I remember my youth, I think it is a general trend among the men, the boys. Every man wants to get married, not only to have children, or of course everybody knows that there is a weak point that every man suffers from. That's why we men have to make a lot of effort to keep our emotions, or especially, how do you say it? I don't know how to use the best word for it. Some drives, hormone drives. Let's put it in a kind way. Yeah, hormone drives. We have to keep under control. But otherwise, if there was no other responsibility, and also if there is no Sharia rule, etc., every man wants to be a girl, to be together with a girl. That's general rule, I think. But if it is going to be a marriage contract, it means, I mean, from the very beginning, the intention must be this marriage contract for life. Intention must be. Now, let me see if it works. You know, this kind of boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is not human to me. Why? You don't commit and you don't take any responsibility, but establish your life on the basis of only hormone motives, hormone drives. It is not human at all to me. Why? Animals do that. Yeah. They just get together, but not like human beings for lifelong, but they just get together when they need it under this drive, hormone drives, and then that's it. Of course, every responsibility is left to, in the way the animals are created, on the mother. Father forgets about it because that is animal drive. But human drive must be accompanied with responsibility, sense of responsibility. That's why dowry is an important important sign that the boy is, the man is ready to undertake the responsibility. Ready. How? In every aspect. Personality-wise, must be mature. Ethical-wise, must be chaste, modest. Financial-wise, must have something to do. So he should make some effort in order to be able to take care of the financial needs of the family. These are our examples. We are not reading the story, we are reading real life experiences. So that is why the Quran mentions about the prophetic stories in order to present us, the reader. These are real life experiences, and you can take lesson for your own life out of this. And you can put yourself in the in place of the father here. As a father, you have to do this in this example. And in place of the daughter, as a daughter, you shouldn't be shy to hide your feelings. Say it in a kind way, in a respectful way, in a modest way, but we have to express it. That's what the Quran is teaching to us. So, God willing, you will find I am a fair man. Now, there is no exploitation. There is no material purpose only to get the money out of the man and then make the life for both sides, men and women side, torture. Why? The intention was not really based on a sincere relationship, but interest relationship. Interest. Just get some dowry, and then 2 years later, the man will be fed up with this family life because he is not working, because it is not based on a sincere intention. And then, okay, I'm going to divorce you. All right, divorce me, but I got my dowry. But if nowadays the dowry is so, I mean, to me, dowry relationship is nowadays exploited into a financial struggle. It means I am going to be like this. I don't want to be dependent on you. Yeah, of course, no one wants to be dependent on anybody else. That is correct. You don't want to be dependent, but at the same time, it shouldn't be the only reason. It should have some other reasons which is based on human needs. Anyways, let's go further. Uh, there is a comment. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Now, Alia, Momina, I understood. Alia. Interesting that dowry is confirmed in the Quran. Yeah, I mean, here it is, but not the dowry that is understood nowadays to me, because dowry is just financial guarantee. Yes, but there must be other purposes. Here, the dowry is, yes, financial guarantee, but at the same time, seriousness of seriousness of the commitment. So that 8 years he has to serve. But from the father's side, it doesn't mean that he is intending to really use this man as a slave. No. The word is used ajr. Ajr means really employ somebody in return of payment. For example, if you need to repair your car, what do? You go and take the car to a mechanic and ask him to repair this. The mechanic says, okay, I can do it, but you have to pay me $500. Yeah, that is ujra. That is in return payment. So your labor and payment. So, but the father says, I'm not going to be harsh on you. It means I'm not going to exploit you because you need to have a place to stay in a foreign country, and you are going to stay in my house. But father's intention is, I think this guy needs experience, but at the same time, let me do some sort of help to him, but at the same time, make him feel that this marriage contract is a really serious commitment. Are you ready for this? That's we read from the Quran. God willing, you will find I am a fair man, right? I have met many girls see dowry as demeaning and refuse to take it. That's a matter of personality. Because if someone defines, it's a good point, Salia, by the way, I thank you. If someone defines dowry is being in need of money, of somebody else's money, yes, it is really demeaning. I'm going to get married, but really, you have to give me some money because I need your money. This marriage cannot work like this. This is not marriage. This is just financial exploitation of a weak man's weakness, or the man's weakness about his hormone drives, exploiting his weakness. But as we have been talking about it, dowry must be asked for other reasons, including the financial security. But the main point in dowry, for my understanding here, how serious you are in your commitment. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to make some sacrifice in order to take care of the family life? Are you that person? Show me now before I sign the contract. That is the definition of dowry. If someone defines dowry as a financial aid, yeah, it is the meaning for everybody's honor, human dignity. It means something like begging for money. So it depends on how one defines dowry. Okay, to take it. Previously, no dowry or little dowry was considered demeaning. Yeah, yeah. Both of them are, to me, what is going on in the world, in the Muslim world especially. Yes, for whether saying that you cannot buy me for, let's say, $1,000. Come on, you have to pay me to $50,000. I am precious. That is not human. That is not human. Are you selling yourself? That is wrong. But at the same time, if a girl says before getting married, I'm not going to get married with this guy just because he's going to pay money. I'm not in need of his money. I will. I can work and I have a profession. I can stand on my own feet. I don't need his financial aid. I am an independent being. This is another extreme. It means you are not ready in terms of some discrepancies in the family life, that you are going to make sacrifice. You expect only from the other one, and you have to be acting in the family life as an independent being, not having any responsibility towards making a mutual agreement. Both of them are wrong. And as Alia stated here, really, the situation before was as if the girl is selling herself to a boy in return of money or property. Now, the girl is saying on the other extreme side, girl is saying, I am an independent being, I'm not in need of you. It means I'm not ready to sacrifice anything, to reconcile. If there is a conflict, if there is a or something, a problem in the family life, because you are a man, I am a man. Yeah, yes, you are. Everybody is individual, but we are sharing our life. Two people completely developed in a completely different environment within a different culture. Although they may say we are all Muslims, no. Nowadays, everybody has many different varieties of life experiences. It is not a village life anymore. So, of course, we have to get to know each other. We have to be patient with each other until we get to know each other, and so that we will find a moderate way which needs the sacrifice from two sides. So we have to bear this in mind. But dowry, the purpose of dowry is completely different. Neither of them, as far as I understand, especially in the context of this verse. The father says, look, I will be fair with you. I'm not going to exploit you, but at the same time, you will be working within the family life for 8 years. But the purpose of the man, after listening, for the purpose of the father, I guess that after listening the story of Moses, as we have been listening to the story of Moses through the teachings of the Quran, we understand that Moses has no life experience. He is grown up in the palace. Real life experience is zero. That is why from being a prince, now is becoming a member of an ordinary family life with responsibility. He has to work. Of course, I have to work in order to benefit from the family householding here, in order to sustain my material bodily life and also help each other. So it is an excellent thing, but we have to study. The time is old, time is up. Verse 28, Moses said, let that be the agreement between us. Now, yeah, he agreed. So whichever of the two terms I fulfill, let there be no injustice to me. That is interesting. No? Let there be no injustice to me. For example, to help me to look after my family life, because I'm going to work for you and you will pay for me so that I can take care of my family life. So no injustice means no really hidden intention of exploitation. For example, there are lots of interesting things are going on. For example, here, undocumented immigrants, because they have no legal rights, they are exploited. Yeah, that's immigrants, but they are exploited. They have no legal rights. So they cannot really have social security or other health care, anything. And also they cannot really defend their rights as they deserve to be treated. And especially in some countries, there is no need to mention the name, but you cannot do anything you want. You have to take the guardianship of some of the citizens and pay because of he's taking your guardianship, and you have to pay out of your income, although he is not doing anything, just using his privileged position as a citizen, and the others are immigrants. That is totally disgusting everywhere, this kind of discriminations. Okay, but now this is the important point that we are going to study in the verse 28. God is witness to what we say. Look, the agreement, the contract, yep, has been signed under the witnessing of God. That is extremely important, which is, we have to talk about it a lot, but because the time is up, briefly. First, the agreement cannot be based on culture, tradition, on existing secular, social, the values of, secular values of social life. The agreement cannot be. Now, under the witnessing of God, it means typically in the name of God. It means according to the will of God and according to the rules of God. So when I sign the contract in any way, not only marriage contract, which is called nikah, or in some countries they call it kitab, or like I think kitab they say. In some countries, subcontinental countries, I think, doesn't matter. Nikah is the Quranic word. So this nikah act must be done in the name of God, according to the Sharia of God, not according to the culture. But there are contracts between men and women now in the secular societies and in the secularized Muslim societies. This is the contract, and under the guardianship of what? State law. Of course, the content of the contract is arranged according to culture. Now, we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful, although we don't study fiqh matters, but the nikah is an act, it's a contract, it's an agreement between two parts. And this agreement must be signed under the witnessing of God. In the way of God, taking notice of the will of God, preference of God. That's what we learn from the verse 28. So both sides voluntarily should agree on the conditions, and this agreement must be established under the guardianship of God. Nothing else. Well, look, my friends are getting married on these conditions. They are getting this kind of dowry. They are having this kind of house, the arrangements, the furniture, etc. I have to have the same thing. The criterion is not that. Criterion, yeah, in some cases, customs are authorized in the Quran according to ma'ruf. It means non-customary way of doing it. But nikah is not based on ma'ruf. Nikah is based on God's witnessing. Now that is very important. But it's very important. I think we have to emphasize it. Wallahu ala ma naqulu wakil. It is very important. God is the one who is going to take care of this agreement. I am aware of it. We have to know that I am promising to this girl under the guardianship of God. And the God is promising to this boy under the guardianship of God. It means all based on God consciousness. Contract must be based on God consciousness, not on peer comparisons. It means all my friends around me doing this. No. Depending on the conditions, you have to look at your own conditions, life conditions, but you have to be very careful not to have any hidden agenda in your mind. God knows your heart. That consciousness is necessary. I think we have to stop here. Thank you very much. 15 minutes last. I'm sorry. That's not how it went. Please forgive me. Inshallah, I'll see you next Wednesday or Monday, Saturday, however you can make it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Any more comment or anything? Anybody? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.